Hey folks, welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. So about 3 weeks ago, I did a video talking about the WBC ordering Bivol to defend against Benavidez. And at that time I asked, was Turkey's trilogy Beterbiev and Bivol, or I guess it's now Bivol and Beterbiev, was that in jeopardy? Well, there's been another development. I think it was last week. Yeah, it must have been the tail end of last week. Samson Lukovitz, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's the manager of David Benavidez. Came out and said David Benavidez won't fight in Saudi Arabia. And Hatman did a report on this, I believe, maybe earlier today, possibly yesterday. Hatman is somewhat disappointed because this might suggest that the Bivol-Benavidez fight won't take place. For me, I thought the logical fight would be for the trilogy to take place, the Beterbiev-Bivol, Bivol-Beterbiev fight, so that we can finally draw a line under that. And then the winner of those two could fight David Benavidez. So I'd be interested to know what you think. Turki Al-Sheikh said something kind of strange, but not strange. He said something around the time that the Benavidez fight was being talked about, and the WBC said they wanted Bivol to defend against Benavidez. And I had to go back and look what he said. But what he said was, I'm no longer interested in Bivol Benavidez, and I will not bid on it. I think Bivol knows who has delivered for him and who hasn't. My advice to Bivol, don't be late because every day something changes. Now, I'm not sure what that means. I mean, to me, it's sort of saying, look, you know which side your bread is buttered on, don't you? You know what's good for you, don't you? But is there also a little bit of a threat in there? Now, Hatman seemed to think that there was. And I hadn't really looked at it that way, to be honest. I'd looked at it as simply well, you know who looks after you. You know which side your bread's buttered on. You know what's good for you. But not, you know what's good for you, in what's the right word? In one of those slightly intimidating ways, sort of like your mom used to say to you, you'll sit down and have your tea if you know what's good for you. In other words, you sat down and you had your tea because you didn't want to get a slipper, right, or something like that. So, anyways, is there something in what Turkey's saying? I guess it's that last sentence. Don't be late because every day something changes. Is that a way of saying, if you kind of sitting on the fence there, or you're dilly-dallying, the money won't be there that is there at the moment, or we won't be looking after you in the same way that we have in the past? I don't know. You can read so much into what somebody says, can't you? I guess if Bivol declines to honor what he has been ordered to by the WBC and fight Benavidez, then I suppose he could be stripped of the WBC belt, which would devalue, I suppose, the trilogy with Beterbiev, because it would no longer be for undisputed. But it would be, as a fight fan, it would still be good to figure out who is the winner of the rubber match. When it's 1-1, I never feel really satisfied. I want to see a final match, a rubber match. And if Benavidez would Benavidez be elevated? I guess he's the interim guy now, so he would be elevated. So that would be a very, I guess, straightforward way to get a championship. You get emailed the belt, as it were. I mean, It happens. It happened to Daniel Dubois recently. And I suppose if Usyk doesn't fight the WBO, as per ordered by the WBO, I suppose it could happen to Parker. I always think of it's a bit of a hollow victory kind of thing. It's not a real belt. Because even if you defend it against a legitimate contender, it's not like the same as winning it in the ring, is it? I guess maybe Benavidez, well, I guess the WBC could wait. But I don't know what the situation is with the WBC and Turki Al Sheikh. I mean, the WBC may feel quite threatened by Turki Al Sheikh's relationship with Dana White, and we call it the TKO because I can't be bothered to go through all the names. The WBC may be threatened by the TKO business and may feel as though they need to defend their status, insist on people fighting for their belts. Hard to say. There was one thing that was amusing. I wrote it down. And Benavidez' manager said Benavidez's loyalty right now is to the WBC, which is kind of a funny way of putting it. I'm loyal to you right now. It's kind of like temporary loyalty. I don't know. I mean, it's just sort of, to be fair, Benavidez's manager does not speak English as his native tongue. So maybe there was some, translation going on there. But sort of loyalty right now, it's a flexible sliding scale of loyalty. So I don't know. That was kind of just made me laugh a little bit. But anyhow, Samson Lukovitz, I hope I'm not butchering his name. I'm sorry. I butcher a lot of names on here. It must be age. I don't know. But yeah, he didn't really expand on why David Benavidez won't fight in Saudi. So there could be all sorts of reasons, I suppose. To each their own. Anyhow, an interesting development. What do you think? How does that affect your enjoyment of a Beterbiev Bivol trilogy? Or are you like Hatman? Are you a fan who would rather see Bivol fight Benavidez and then maybe have the trilogy down the road? Let me know. Let me know what you think. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Continue to have a fabulous day. Continue to watch the channel. Spread the word and all that good stuff. Cheers. Thank you.